What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, Big Dog Brett. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you guys being here. Um, man, I got to tell you, I am absolutely disappointed in some of the Georgia fans out there. I don't know what you guys are seeing or what you guys are thinking, but I'm going to be honest with you. You guys are some entitled, bratty-ish, uh, unrealistic people. Not all of y'all, but some of y'all. And if you feel like that comment stings you, my daddy used to say, if you throw a rock in amongst a pack of dogs, the one that hollers is the one you hit. I cannot believe the way you guys are reacting. I cannot believe the way you guys are reacting. You guys want to come out there and nitpick the littlest things that Mike Bobo did wrong. It's the first game. We're missing about half our starters. We have no real running backs to speak of at 100%. Our best wide receivers sitting on a sideline, and you guys are but man, sit down. What is wrong with you? Georgia comes out, puts 500 yards of damn offense on the field, 500, almost 60 yards. Carson Beck, first time ever starting a game, throws for 60+%, throws for almost 300 yards and a touchdown and a rushing touchdown. Oh, Carson Beck's trash. Carson Beck is not trash. Sit down. Brock Vandagriff was way better. He threw 3 passes. He ran the ball a little bit. He looked pretty good. But he's not a Heisman winner. Not yet. You got Gunnar Stoddard out here. He goes 3 for 5, basically just as good as Brock Vandagriff as far as percentages. They put him up in mop-up duty. Georgia comes out, hangs 48 points on 48 points. There was only 3 games in the whole last regular season. Only 3 games that we scored more than 48 points in. Only 3. You guys want to get out there and jump up and down and talk about fire Mike Bobo. You better sit down and shut your mouth. You have no idea what you're talking about. None. Fire Mike Bobo. You're crazy. Kirby Smart's goal, which he has openly stated, is 42 points a game. We were at 41 before the pick 6. Kirby's 42 points is counting, factoring in over the course of a season, things like pick 6s. Lost y'all's mind. Lost your mind. Defense comes out, plays absolutely lights out. UT Martin gets a charity touchdown on a ball that skipped off the ground about 3 times. But then again, it's the first game of the season for the referees too. Carson Beck made maybe 2 bad passes the whole game. There was another pass in there you could have argued was could have been picked off. You got Georgia out here with 4 sacks, basically 4 sacks. It was 1 sack. UT Martin didn't sack our quarterback at all. I thought our offensive line could have played better, but 0 sacks is pretty good. We like 0 sacks. If you can go the entire season without taking a single sack on the quarterback, we'll take it. I know I'm going to make some of y'all mad. I don't care. I remember a few seasons ago where Georgia would have been absolutely ecstatic. Score 48 points a game. Let me take you back to 2015. Lost 3 games in the regular season. There was only 3 games. There was only 2 games that whole season we scored more than 48 points. Only 2. Let me take y'all way back to something like, I don't know, 2010 when we lost six games in a regular season. Lost to Auburn, lost to Florida, lost to Colorado, lost to Mississippi State, lost to Arkansas, lost to South Carolina. You guys over here, 48-7 ain't good enough. What's up, Trenches? It seems to me that the players are being taught that they'll eat off the floor, but the fans they want to eat in the penthouse suite. Y'all better wake up. Y'all look at what happened last year, getting too uppity in your britches. Last year over here, did y'all forget? Did y'all forget what happened against Kent State, 39-22? Did y'all forget what happened against Missouri, 26-22? Y'all forget that? How about the Tennessee game, 27-13? Yeah, we like to jump up and down, but that was only a 14-point win. How about Kentucky, where we only won by 10 points? Huh? What happened there? 48-7 ain't good enough. First game of the season, first time the man's ever started. Listen, y'all, if y'all gonna be this way at the beginning of the season, go ahead and sign off. Don't watch the rest of the season, because I can assure you, at some point, we're gonna have a game that's closer than 48-7. I don't know what you expected. Some of us tried to tell y'all how good Stetson Bennett was. You don't believe he's good? Look, he's playing in the NFL and he's scoring touchdowns in the NFL. He must not be too bad. There were opportunities. There were certainly times whenever we could have ran the ball or thrown the ball or passed the ball or whatever it is. We could have done a better job. But for whatever reason, Mike Bobo decided to do those things. It's his first game being OC. And yeah, I get he's all experienced and all this other stuff. It's still his first game as OC. Maybe he didn't feel like at that particular moment that their defense was in the best position. By the way, I also know that if he calls a run play, Carson Beck can change it at the line. He can change it. I am so irritated, disappointed, embarrassed by some of y'all on some of these message boards on Twitter. Fire Mike Bobo. All right, then, genius. Who you gonna get to replace him that can average 48 points a game? I'll wait. I don't hear nobody. I don't see no names. You got folks over here clowning on Colorado, in which I'm one of them, but then want to turn around and you forget your place. You forget your place. Nobody is more critical of UGA when it's time to be critical. But this isn't time to be critical. This is time to be supportive. Muse, though, my God. I'm going to tell you, we have some incredible guys on defense and some incredible guys on offense. Makai Muse is going to be a phenom. Keep in mind, we're missing some players too, guys. Like, we had no player on our team who got more than 5 receptions last game. Brock Bowers got 5. Makai Muse got 3. Malachi Starks all over the field. Tyke Smith all over the field. Javon Bullard all over the field. I mean, there wasn't hardly any play you didn't see one of those 3 guys involved in. I'm stunned at how little drop off there has been on our defense, considering how much we've lost. And I don't want to hear that crap about how, last season, we lost a bunch of players and then we came back. And man, you know how weird that is? That is unbelievably weird. And then we do it again. Listen, I don't want to hear anybody say 41 points ain't enough if the defense shows up. 8 points is enough, apparently. Georgia has an embarrassment of riches at on the offense, on the defense, in the quarterback room, and thank goodness in the running back room because we had enough to get us through. We only got 159 yards rushing, but man, 400 yards passing. But 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 Bobo, right? You know how many other teams didn't have 400 yards passing and they played trash teams? Most of them. Most of them. I don't know where Jack Saint was. Lovett is also a beast, yes. They did rest McConkey because of some back issues. Lovett got hands like feet. First game for everybody, man. If you looked at Carson Beck when he first came out there, man, he looked jittery. He looked scared. And he finally got settled down. The whole offense got settled down by about the middle of the third quarter. Started humming along, and then what do? They pull him out. It's like, okay, we're good. We're set. We didn't have a lot of Jack Saint speeding ticket. Oh, is that what it was? I mean, this is yeah, y'all make me say things I shouldn't say. Y'all make me use language I shouldn't use. Yes, I want Mike Bobo to be better. I want Kirby Smart to be better. I want Nick Saban to be better. I want everybody to be better. But I ain't gonna stand here and my God, say fire Mike Bobo after one game. Why don't y'all go ask Florida and Tennessee how hard it is to recover from something like that? Go ask them. You fired the wrong person just because they're not giving you 100 points a game. You put yourself in a real hurt locker. Something you may never recover from because other coaches that are good, they know how good Mike Bobo is. And they ain't going to take that job if they're going to be under that kind of scrutiny. Y'all make me so mad. Y'all make me so mad. Motivated and dedicated is right. I'm gonna start calling you high speed just because it's easier to say. I've had things I've had to do today. I've been hither, thither, and yon, having to. This has been boiling inside of me. It started last night, and then I was like, "Yeah, maybe everybody will chill out." And then I get on looking around and hearing what people say. There are times that Todd Monken made some boneheaded calls. That's happened. That has happened. Mike Bobo goes out there and makes a couple of bad calls, and you guys are ready to lynch the guy. It's like, get the out of here, man. Go look at the box score. I don't know. We'll have to see. I mean, I'm high on LSU. We'll see how they play tonight. Maybe I got it wrong, but I'm going to tell you right now, I've never wanted to strangle so many Georgia fans in all my life. You bunch of entitled, ungrateful teenagers. If you're a teenager and that hurts your feelings, I'm sorry, but the Georgia program for many years across the whole of college football has had a pretty good reputation for its fans. Now there are some fan bases out there that will say they don't like Georgia fans. Some Georgia fans are obnoxious, and I get it. Every fan base has those fans in their fan base. But one of the big things that I pride myself on is that there are other fans of other teams that come to this channel and will say things like, "You're the only Georgia fan I like." Good. There's a lot of Georgia fans out there like me. You just don't get to meet them because the loud, obnoxious ones are in the front. I can tell you right now that nothing that any of these Georgia fans say are going to upset Mike Bobo. Mike Bobo can look at that. Mike Bobo can look at the tape. He can look at the scoreboard and he can say, "I did my job." We scored more points in every quarter as we went. 7 points in the fourth, 10 points in the second, 14 points in the third, and 17 points in the fourth. We never lost momentum. It just kept ramping up. More and more points. And it didn't matter who we put in. It didn't matter whether we put Brock Vandegrift in. It didn't matter whether we put Carson Beck in. It did not matter. The offense did not slow down. We started out slow, which is fine. That happens to the best of teams. Same thing happened to Alabama last night. It happens. Everybody's got to get comfortable. I just can't. Just the mindless, brainless, not thinking about what they're saying made me want to lose my mind. I'm doing something. There you go, trenches. You ought to be good now. You do what you want to do. How many do I even have? How many moderators do I have? I know Jay Shipes is, Pastor Dave, Alex Dean. Just looking through a few people here. I haven't had moderator. I haven't updated moderators in a while, so I'll add a few here. You guys know what to do in the chat. Crimson Brave, I am not giving you a moderator wrench. I'm sorry, brother. It ain't gonna happen. You're a Bama fan. It ain't gonna happen. Be mad at me if you want to. I trust motivated, dedicated because he's a veteran and so am I. So Jay Shipes, me and Shipes know that we can go. Me and Jay Shipes will go to war for each other. We already know that. We know that. Pastor Dave, you're a pastor. I think I can trust you. Man, that was driving me crazy reading them. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Guys, we're dangerously close to 6,500. Let's see if we can get there today, guys. That'd be great. I appreciate it and all that good stuff. But man, I'm about to just. It just. This is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time that Georgia fans' entitledness has made me this angry. It's even made me angry. I appreciate that, Let's Go. We're better than this. Our fans are better than this. Our culture is better than this. Our team is better than this. Mike Bobo deserves a chance to do his job. And if anybody wants to have an open, debated conversation with me about why we should fire Mike Bobo after game one, I'll sit down and have that conversation with you. I'm telling you, you're going to look like a fool. 3 quarterbacks and 400 yards of offense, 48 points, 41 of which was offensive. Makes both field goals we attempt. Then we had a little bit of a fumble from Brock Bowers, and I think he recovered it. And that was it. Other than that, there was no big mistakes made. There was no interceptions thrown. I like this statement, and I like that. I like that that avatar too. Like it's got to be the youngin saying this. The old heads know. We know. What's up, Michael Porter? Michael Porter knows. There is absolutely no reason to be getting after Mike Bobo at this point. What do you want the man to do? Do you want it to be 65-7 every game? Yeah, you may want that, but how realistic is that? This isn't East Mississippi Community College. It's not. This is Power 5 big boy football. Yeah, and I mean, if you go back and you look at the throws that Carson actually made, he hit check downs, he hit some deep passes. There were some passes he overthrew. How many passes last year did Carson Beck overthrow? And every time he was like, it's freaking Carson Beck again. Guy overthrows everybody. Can't hit a deep ball. And then at the end of the season, he's hitting all of them. You guys are spoiled, and you're ungrateful. It hurts my feelings. Chris Brave, you keep messing with Trenches, he'll slap you in timeout, man. I'm just telling you. Every single season, man. I mean, if you look back, and I'm not trying to say that Georgia didn't have a reason to get up and play. We had a reason to get up and play because it's college football. You should get up and play. But if you go back to 21, you go back to 22, we opened with Oregon, right? 2021, we opened with Clemson. 2020, we opened with at least with Arkansas. What was 2019's opener? 2019's opener was Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt. 30-6, by the way. Not 48-7. You go back to Austin Peay in 18 was 45-0. I mean, this is other than it being a shutout, there's offensive better performance. 2017, we played App State. It was 31-10. 2016, when we lost 5 games, we played North Carolina and it was 33-24. First game of the season, I'll take it. For sure, I'll take it. What's up, Keith? Man, I was just telling him, while he may have looked a little bit uncomfortable, I think he settled down. I think that's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure. You're now the starting quarterback at Georgia. You're now the starting quarterback. It's your job. And plus, you got 2 5-stars behind you that you know are really good that want your job. Yeah, me and you said the same thing in the middle of the game. Yeah, he looked uncomfortable. Absolutely, he did. And I'm not saying that there aren't things that we can improve on, but the narrative that, yeah, he's a 3rd-year guy, I get it. I get it. He should be ready. They should all be ready. But you look at the missed tackles on some of the defense. You look at some of the oopsie mistakes that Brock Bowers fumbled a football. You don't think that guy's ready? Yeah, I get it. And would I have liked to have seen a better performance out of Carson Beck? Absolutely. I would have loved to see him come in and be poised and ready to go and comfortable. But I do think that he's had all offseason of this weighing on his mind. He's worried that if he screws up too much, he's going to lose the job. Okay. Then he starts to settle down. Kirby didn't seem too upset about the way he played. I'm not upset about the way he played. I wish it would have been a little better, but whatever. Yeah, they did come in and look ready, but the game was pretty much out of hand at that point. We all knew that UT Martin was not going to come back and win that game. So, there's a difference there. I get what you're saying, but more of what I'm really talking about, yeah, 3rd or 4th drive. I think we got like 2, 3 and out, something ridiculous. But how much of that was Mike Bobo getting the rust knocked off of him? How much of that was Carson Beck settling down? How much of it was it the first game of the season and other guys running their routes the way they're supposed to? I don't know. But what I can say is that at the end of the day, he's throwing, mid 60 percentile. He's got almost 300 yards of passing. He didn't make any mistakes. He threw the ball away when he needed to. He rushed for a touchdown. He did some solid work. But I'm not upset about Carson. I'm not upset about Brock or anybody else, really. I'm more upset about the way Georgia fans are reacting after this big win. This is a big win. 48-7 is big. I don't care who you play. Yeah, I do want to see how he's going to perform in the first half next week, no doubt. But he's got to. What's up, Matty Sims? But he's got to come out and be better than he was. Muse is absolutely a baller, of course. But it's like, geez, man, you got to give these coaches and players an opportunity. You've got to give them a chance. I would hate, and I know these players do it, and these coaches do it too, whether they say they do or not. They can see what's on social media. You got people out there saying fire Mike Bobo. Like what? 560 yards of offense or something like that. Fire the offensive coordinator. Fire the offensive coordinator. You got South Carolina negative yards on rushing, and Florida was like, what was it, 4 or 12 or something stupid? Get out of here. Muse will bust a punt or kickoff touchdown this season for sure. He almost did it a couple times. That guy is the twitchiest, most agile speedster I have seen in I don't know how long on any team. That guy's electric. Man, where has he been? Because that guy, he's going to be a critical component to our team. Critical. All 3 QBs played well. I think as a coach, if you walk away from that game and you look at how your teams performed, you got to go, man, all these guys did well. All these we could run the offense with any of these guys if need be. I'm going to tell you right now, if Carson Beck gets hurt, I'm not going to be disappointed whenever I see Brock Vandagriff step in there. I feel like we're going to be just fine. And if something happens to him and Gunnar Steinen comes in, I'd be like, I think we're going to be fine. With Ladd, it would have been 35% smoother. Yeah, probably. We got elite coaches and all. We got elite coaches in all positions too. Yeah, that's true. I was really disappointed in the fact that Mike Bobo is a Georgia homer himself. He's been around the Georgia program for a long time. A lot of people like and respect him. I trust Kirby's judgment. Kirby didn't put that bid out to offer for anybody. He didn't put that out to bid. He wasn't looking for an offensive coordinator. He said, I'm going with Mike Bobo. I know Mike Bobo. I trust Mike Bobo. Mike Bobo does what I want him to need him to do. He's the guy. And for people that want to say, well, I don't know about that, they said the same thing about Stetson Bennett. Ended up being the best quarterback UGA has ever had. Yes, the best we've ever had. You can like it or hate it, but statistically, he's the best quarterback UGA has ever had. Like most passing yards, most years spent on campus, most national titles under one quarterback. And I mean, he personified the idea of sticking it out, having faith, staying loyal. Also, I mean, you've got to give these guys an opportunity. And if you can't, if you feel like you can't give them an opportunity, that's fine. But try not to make the rest of us look stupid when you're out there saying fire Mike Bobo. Just don't do that. Oh, take out Carson Beck. The first game. It's the first game. Just unbelievable. I mean, you guys make me want to beat my head against a rock. Just what are you doing? You know, and it always seems like those kind of fans are always the loudest fans too. You find one chain on there and then you find, a whole bunch of this, that, and the other. Missing all of our good running backs. I mean, that had to put a lot of pressure on Carson. It had to. Fire Mike Bobo. You're funny, Maddie. Well, I had to get that off my chest. I couldn't deal with that any longer. I just couldn't deal with it. I'm sorry. If you're a Georgia fan and you think we should fire Mike Bobo, you need to sit down and you need to take a few deep breaths. Drink a cold beverage of your choice or some hot chocolate. Settle yourself down and review the game from an objective point of view and go from there. He says UT sold out to stop the run straight from UTM's coach from UT's coaches. That may be the case. And Georgia still got 160 yards. So I think they knew that Georgia was going to struggle to run the ball. And so they decided that they wanted to sell out to stop the run. And Carson Beck was good enough to make them pay for it. Brock Bowers was good enough to make them pay. Malachi Muse was good enough to make them pay. So if you go back and you look at the Oregon game, Georgia in that game only rushed 132 yards against Oregon. We did 160 against UT Martin. We threw for 439 receiving. I mean, if you look at the stats, they're eerily similar. Stetson Bennett threw for 368 yards in that game, but we only used 2 quarterbacks in that game. He easily could have left Carson Beck in there, and I think he would have got to 360 something yards, no problem. Threw for 400 yards in UT Martin, 439 in the Oregon game. Rushed for 132 in Oregon. Rushed for 159. I mean, it's just it's pretty similar. No sacks in that game. No sacks in this game. 4 tackles for 1 sack in that game. It's very extremely similar. Is a booth. Listen, if he was abusing his power, he wouldn't be warning you. I think both Georgia fans, critics, and Carson Beck all need to settle down a little bit. Does Colorado go bowling? The question is what in the hell happened to TCU? But that's a video for another time. This right here is a true statement. Some fans didn't want Monken either, and he struggled against lesser teams, but when it came down to it, he dumped out his bag. Bobo ran a vanilla ice cream offense against you, Martin. I think he kind of had to. I mean, we're missing a lot of our best players. So, and we still put up 500 plus yards offense and almost 50 points. So, nah. Well, guys, that's all I wanted to do. I just wanted to share it with you guys. Got some more football to watch tonight, so I look forward to watching that game. We'll be seeing you guys real soon. I think LSU is going to win this game. We'll see what happens. Really appreciate you guys tuning in. Share. Leave a comment after the video. Like, subscribe. Really appreciate you guys. Yeah, I think they got quite a few losses on their schedule. Keith, I think you're correct. So, you guys have a great day. We'll see you soon. God bless.